Part 2 of one of the greatest Star Wars video games is upon us, and as a fan, I wanted to have something from the game I could put on my shelf as a collectible. But this is not gonna cut it. So I decided to design my own Cal Kestis statue, which I can then 3D print to fill that empty space in between my other figurines. Most video game statues are made up of 2 to 3 parts. A base for the character to stand on, the character itself, and an object the character is interacting with, like a weapon for example. The character of course will be the man himself, and for the base I thought I would recreate this rocky environment you can see in some of the trailers. In the game you'll be able to find it in 3 different stances, which are a perfect jumping off point to figure out the final pose for him. Need to fight 2 enemies at the same time? The double-sided staff stance is your best friend. Wanna slice things up a bit? Why not 2 individual blades? This one was a bit harder to find a good pose for, and whenever I'm at this stage of the process I tend to do these poses myself, just because it's so much quicker than trying to move the model. I guess in a way to create the best end result I have to become a Jedi Master myself. And lastly, a basic single blade stance. For this one I wanted to make it look like he's exploring a dark cave or something, not knowing what might lurk in the dark. All 3 stances have something that makes them cool, but I decided to go with the staff pose. And to block out the environment, literally, I just fused some cubes together and built this rocky base. The environment in the trailer also has these layers of stone, which after adding them to my model added some nice variety. And now on to the most important step, avoiding YouTube's age restriction. His non-existent wiener is not supposed to be exposed like that, so let's give him some clothes. Blender has built-in cloth simulation tools, but I would like to keep my sanity for a bit longer, so I switched to Marvelous Designer for this one, a 3D software tailored for cloth simulations. His outfit consists of 4 pieces, some pants, a shirt, vest, and shoes. Now here's how you create pants in Marvelous Designer. And to add more details, I can add cuts like this for example, or change the color to refine it. Of course he also needs a shirt, and that's the first layer of his outfit. Now to Cal Kestify it, I can add some more details like the rolled up sleeves or the shin pads. A few pockets and extra seams later, the vest is up next and follows basically the same 3-step workflow. Creating the basic shape, refining the shape, and adding details like extra seams or this shoulder pad. Now after almost ruining the whole outfit because of my incompetence, it is time to hit play and watch the simulation happen. Okay, the simulation is finished, and look at that, that looks pretty good. His pants may be a bit short in the back, but let's call that intentional. Back in Blender, while I was trying to import the clothes, I noticed, wait, that's not Cal, that's the plumber that fixed our pipes yesterday while I was at work. So let's give him a new head. Capturing the likeness of somebody, just like clothing, is made up of 3 steps. First, creating the basic shape, then I hope this gets better if I keep working on it, and lastly, this doesn't look like him at all. Everything was going well until I realized that I accidentally forgot step 3 of the process. But that was actually quite handy because that means that my statue will actually look like him. Without the hair it might be hard to see, but once I added that, you can definitely see it. If you ever want to follow this process yourself, make sure to grab references from all possible angles. A front and side shot will show you the most important features, but stuff like the cheekbone or the outer brow corner requires some more angles to be visible. Now for the hand transplant, I can get rid of his old head, oh Jesus, and quickly replace it with this new one so I never have to see that again. And look at that, slowly but surely I can feel myself become one with the Force. His shoes are still missing, so why don't we add those real quick? If you ever want to model shoes yourself, here's a quick tip. Model the sole first by kind of following the shape of the foot, and then you can duplicate the outer edge and extend it upwards to start working on the rest of the shoe. This way the 2 pieces are immediately connected and you don't have to do that manually. And once the upper part is done as well, you can duplicate some of the faces to create these extra layers. The majority of the outfit is in place, which means we can finally add something that'll bring this statue to the next level. And that is character. Now you might ask yourself, don't we already have a character? Well, yes we do, but now we can add more character to him, with details like this gun belt to introduce more unique characteristics and maybe even showcase some of his inner character traits. Because without these, he would only be a character. Luckily, there weren't that many details I had to add. And after I finished the lightsaber, I also made sure that the foundation was looking solid. I also added some roots to it because I thought that adds a nice contrast to the rest of the environment, which of course looks a bit rough right now, but after sculpting a few more layers, cracks and small pebbles, it was coming together quite well. Especially after making the roots look more rooty, I think it comes pretty close to the original reference. Now the only thing that is still quite rough is the hair. For this to be 3D printable, I could have just used the hair sculpt and refined it a bit, but I thought it would look better if I used hair curves. The only problem was that the way I've used them meant that I had to fill the entire scalp by manually placing one strand after the other, which to nobody's surprise took a very long time. 8 hours to be exact. But after placing the last strand and especially after fine-tuning the hairstyle with a few more modifiers, I think it was worth it. If Luke had to go through rigorous training to become a proficient Jedi, maybe I had to do the same. The model is finally finished and ready to be 3D printed. I've never actually painted my 3D prints before, and looking at the time, that's not going to change now. But to visualize what it could look like in the end, let's paint it digitally. Oh. I might not be able to paint this model myself, but you might. So if you want to print this model yourself, check out the link in the description. There you'll find all the parts of the model that you can just throw into your favorite 3D printing software and print your own version. Just a quick heads up though, the fingers are quite thin, which means that they're probably not going to print very well at a small scale. At least that was the case with my PL8 printer. If you've enjoyed this video, you'll also like this video where I created Irelia from League of Legends in Blender. Thanks for watching, maybe I'll see you next time. See ya!